Hello, Part 1. Welcome to your reading. First, let's take a look at the energy you are currently radiating. We have the Fool and the Four of Pentacles with the underlying energy of the Two of Swords. This is a very interesting combination because it shows two simply contradictory energy. What I'm seeing is that you are moving through a repeating cycle in your life, a cycle of breaking through and then rebuilding over and over again. You may often find yourself facing a certain type of life decision, choosing between taking a risk and staying in safety and stability. And at different stages of your life, you make different choices. But regardless of what you choose, your inner strength and wisdom are constantly being tested and strengthened through these experiences. Now the Two of Swords as the underlying energy carries deep meaning. It represents the tension between opposing perspectives. This kind of energy often appears during major life transitions, right before an upgrade. And let's be honest, transition periods can feel very uncomfortable, even intense. You may go through different emotional phases. One day you feel inspired and passionate, and the next day you become more practical and cautious. One day you want to explore and expand your horizons, and the next you feel called to focus and go deeper. You can see both sides clearly. You can see the light and the challenges in the path of risk, and you can also see both the limitations and potential in staying where you are familiar with. And because the next card of the Two of Swords is the Three of Swords, no matter which path you choose, there will be some level of heartbreak involved. We have to be honest about that. There will always be a sense of loss for the path not taken. But what I see you learning through all these experiences is not about making the right decision. Instead, you're learning how to ask yourself, what kind of growth do I need right now? Which experience will truly serve my evolution? From your own perspective, this journey feels like a constant inner conflict, a struggle with yourself. But from an outsider's perspective, you're actually very fortunate because your life is filled with opportunities that allow you to choose, and you also have a stable foundation that gives you the space to even feel indecisive. Now, interestingly, the Two of Swords here doesn't feel negative at all. Instead, it shows a very healthy energy, an open-minded and a balanced way of thinking. When you choose to take risk, you are not being impulsive or blindly confident. You will thought things through deeply. You will process your fears and doubts, and you know that you have a solid foundation. You are not heading toward a dead end. And when you choose to stay grounded and responsible, you are not limiting yourself either. You understand timing and pacing. You know that when the moment is right, you can act at any time. There is always a sense of self-protection here. It feels like you are protecting a space where you are allowed to rest with yourself freely. You don't let outside noise interfere. Within the space, your thoughts can move back and forth, like a pendulum, and just like a pendulum, no matter how much it swings, you know it will eventually come to stillness. All you need is patience. The energy you radiate is exactly this, a calm and grounded presence during times of transition. Not loud, not restless, not performing for anyone, not forcing meaning onto things. And that is very rare. Next, let's look at how others experience your energy. You have the Chariot and the King of Swords. We also have the Wheel of Fortune as the underlying energy. This is very interesting because while you may feel internally conflicted during transitions, others actually see you as very decisive and strong. To them, you feel like someone with a clear sense of direction. You give off the impression that you don't easily get lost. In the physical world, you might literally have a good sense of direction, or in life, you are someone who knows what you want and where you're going. You are not a type to just sit and wait passively. When you want something, you go after it. When people think of you, they may picture you moving forward toward your goals with determination. And it's not just your focus, it's your decisions that feel firm. You have strong principles, and you are not easily swayed by outside opinions. Once you set your standards, you don't break them easily. Whether you realize it or not, and regardless of the inner struggles you go through privately, in the eyes of others, you are incredibly powerful. Your life feels like it is firmly in your own hands. And here's the interesting part. Even though you may seem like someone who doesn't care about others' opinions, your presence actually influences others deeply. Especially when your direction and actions are clear, people around you start to think, maybe I should make a change too. Maybe I should take action. Maybe I need to face reality or face the truth. Because you've gone through your own turning points before, and you've successfully shifted your path, you inspire others to believe that they can change their own destiny too. And finally, let's look at the healing transformation your energy creates. We have the Artist and the Hangman. At the bottom of the deck, we have King of Pentacles. Earlier we just mentioned the image of pendulum, and now we have the Hangman. It really mirrors that energy. What I'm seeing is that you offer people a very important realization. Yourself is more important than the decision. Because when we focus too much on making the right decision, we become overly attached to outcomes. And when outcomes become more important than authenticity, we may start to lose ourselves. We adjust, we perform, we become someone we are not. The Artist shows that everything we create is an extension of who we are. If we are not being true to ourselves, our creation of our life can become distorted, lose its color, lose its meaning. But you prioritize your personal growth over results, over decisions, even over influence. And because of that, you live in a way that feels real, grounded, and aligned. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You don't need to explain yourself. You simply walk your chosen path and stay focused on what you are creating. And that kind of focused presence is a very simple but very rare form of happiness. It's something others deeply admire. And just like how you protect your own inner space, you also respect and protect other people's space to hesitate. You may even encourage it, because hesitation means a new perspective is forming, a new way of thinking is emerging, a new identity is being born. You don't interfere with their choices, you simply encourage them to take their time and observe themselves. Just like a pendulum, no matter how intensively it swings, it will eventually come to stillness and reveal the answer within. You don't promote any specific path. What you stand for is staying true to yourself, honoring your own values, and taking full responsibility for your choices. And because of this, people feel very safe around you. They feel accepted, understood, and not judged for their indecision. And that is incredibly healing. And finally, your oracle card is no, wait, postpone, pause, say no. This is such a strong confirmation of the Hangman energy. If you or someone around you is currently struggling with a decision, and a fear is pushing you or the other person toward a choice that feels more logical but not truly aligned, this is a very clear message. Pause. I understand that the waiting can feel very uncomfortable. It can feel draining and certain, even discouraging. But choosing a path that doesn't align with you will create the same kind of anxiety, just in a different form, at a later time. During the waiting period, the universe is quietly shaping your path, and at the same time, you are evolving your mindset, your energy, and your entire system. If you choose yourself firmly, the world will choose you firmly too, and that's exactly the healing energy you bring into the world. Wishing all of you who chose this pile the very best, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello Pile 2, welcome to your reading. First, let's take a look at the energy you are currently radiating. We have the Six of Swords and Knight of Cups. We also have the Five of Wands as the underlying energy. This is actually a very clear message. You carry an energy of someone who is very good at resolving conflict and calming chaos. This isn't just something natural to you. It's also a role you often play in your daily life. For some of you, your work may involve negotiation, mediation, managing relationships between different parties. Or you may be very good at emotional support, counseling, helping others regulate their thoughts and feelings. You have this ability to soothe restless minds and intense emotional states. And for some of you, this may come from your personal experience. You may have gone through periods where overthinking or emotional intensity affected your daily life. But with the Knight of Cups here, this is a gentle yet determined energy. And since the Knight represents action, I see that when it comes to turning chaos into peace, you don't just wait. You take action. You are not someone who waits to be rescued. You are someone who actively shifts the situation. And when it comes to people you care about, you are the one who reaches out first. There is also a very sensitive and a compassionate energy in you. You truly understand how difficult it is for someone to be stuck in confusion or emotional turmoil. Now, interestingly, the knight is not charging forward aggressively, so even when you want to help someone out of a situation or when you are waiting for someone to give you a clear answer, I don't feel any force or pressure from you. Instead, I feel patience, emotional maturity, and a quiet readiness. You are patient, but once the timing is right, once there is clarity, you will act immediately, without hesitation. At the same time, you're very flexible. This flexibility shows up not only in your thinking, but also in how you emotionally connect with others. People don't feel pressure around you. You know when to step forward and step back, take action and hold space. You can walk into a chaotic situation, bring clarity to it, and then take practical steps to move things forward. With the Six of Swords and the Knight of Cups facing the Five of Wands, you embody a very wise kind of energy. You can resolve conflict without being consumed by it. And this is a very powerful ability. This doesn't just apply to obvious conflicts, it also shows up in situations that look calm on the surface but have tension underneath. You have strong insight, you understand the dynamics at play, and you navigate them with a balance of sincerity and diplomacy. Now, for many of you, earlier in life this may have felt exhausting. You may have experienced emotional burnout. But as you grow and get more life experience, you become more and more at ease with this ability. And interestingly, the more challenging the situation is, the more your grace and strength stand out. Next, let's see how others experience your energy. You have Four of Wands and a star. At the bottom of the deck, we have Nine of Pentacles. This is such a beautiful energy. In the eyes of others, you are truly like a role model. There is something very special about you. You have both a visionary perspective and a grounded, practical action. You can hold a big, idealistic vision while still staying connected to reality and the daily life. And that balance is very rare. The Four of Wands with the Nine of Pentacles speaks of a strong sense of wholeness in your life, whether it's career, social identity, personal life, or relationships. You manage to create a sense of balance and completeness. Because of this, people don't easily label you. There isn't just one aspect of your life that defines you. You feel whole. And that's something people admire deeply. They look at you and think, I wish I could live a life like that, balanced, stable, fulfilled. Now with the star, you come across as a guiding light, especially after chaos or hardship, like in the quiet darkness after storm. You are the kind of presence that brings hope. The star comes from the tower, so it makes perfect sense why you are able to calm conflict, restore order, and help people rebuild after emotional collapse. You help others understand that destruction has meaning, breakdowns make space for what is truly aligned. And you don't just offer emotional support, you also provide practical help, real resources, and clear plans. Your life itself becomes a kind of template for others. When people feel lost, they can look at you, your mindset, your vision, your actions, and it helps them reorganize their own lives. This energy honestly feels like that of a public figure. Even if you're not a one right now, if you ever choose to step into that path, there is strong potential here. And finally, let's look at the healing transformation your energy creates. We have the King of Wands and Ten of Pentacles. At the bottom of the deck, we have Three of Swords. Your energy creates a very powerful kind of healing. This feels like becoming strong even while carrying pain, building fulfilling life even after deep wounds. For you, healing doesn't mean the pain disappears. It means the pain no longer controls your life. And in fact, as you grow stronger, you begin to have power to over the pain itself. You can reshape it. You can transform how it shows up in your life. Through your experiences, you change how you relate to yourself, how you connect with others. It's like the deeper I was hurt before, the stronger my ability to heal and protect myself now. The more I was deceived before, the more I value genuine connections now. You carry an incredibly strong life force. Pain didn't make you shut down. Instead, it made you more connected to life, and your vitality is contagious. Especially for people who are going through low points, your presence feels like a spark. It reminds them of their strength, their will to keep going, and their original desire to live fully. You tend to attract people who have gone through similar pain. They see themselves in you. And because you've already moved through the hardest parts, because you've made real progress in your healing, you become proof that healing is possible. You don't try to minimize pain, but you constantly show that personal will is stronger than pain. If you're a public figure or if you create content online, as you embody this kind of one's energy, confident, powerful, even a little bold, speaking directly to those who resonate with you. I am you, and if I can make it, so can you. And this influence is not just online. Even in real life, your presence alone, even a simple interaction, can impact people. And this is a very passionate, activating energy, not empty motivation, but something backed by real action. And that is incredible power. Finally, your oracle message is the great gathering is all coming together, intuitive haze, soul tribe. This really confirms your expanding influence. I feel that your impact is growing. Some of you may already be building or are about to build your own community, and this community will continue to expand. This also connects to what we mentioned earlier. You attract people who have similar experience and wounds. When you show up authentically and share your journey of rebuilding after hardship, your authenticity becomes their medicine. Your existence becomes a reflection of their life force. You are not afraid to face your wounds. You don't try to hide them because your experiences are proof of your strength. You are strong enough to allow your own vulnerability and hold space for others' vulnerability. Wishing everyone who chose this pile all the very best, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello Pile 3, welcome to your reading. First, let's take a look at the energy you are currently radiating. You got a Ten of Cups in reverse, and the Judgment. We also have the Hermit as the underlying energy. Right away, this group gives me the feeling of someone who doesn't follow the conventional path, and this is exactly the kind of inspiration you bring to others. Now, this unconventional energy is not necessarily about taking risks or exploring the world physically, although you may do that too. Your uniqueness shows up more on a value system level, for things that are widely accepted as happiness, fulfillment, and the ideal life. You don't just accept them at face value, even you don't openly challenge them. Internally, you always reserve the right to question everything, because you understand something very important. The same belief, placed in different times or contexts, can lead to completely different meanings and experiences. So when it comes to topics like family, responsibility, ultimate happiness, the meaning of life, you have your own unique perspective. And here's something very interesting. No matter what belief system is, you approach it with openness. While others may clearly define the kind of life they want and expect life to unfold in a certain way, you are more like, that sounds nice, and that could be nice too. It feels like you don't have a fixed template for what a happy life should look like, because to you, happiness changes across different stages of life. So happiness is not a fixed goal for you. It's something you recognize in hindsight. You look back and realize that was happiness. Now with Judgment here, which carries the meaning of karmic cycles, I'm also sensing that you may have gone through repeating life lessons. And in each cycle, you redefine what you once believed was fortunate or unfortunate. It's like when we encounter new ideas, we expand from one point into many, we connect dots, we evolve from something simple into something more complex. But with the Hermit as your underlying energy, as you gain life experience, you develop the ability to find insights within complexity, simplify what is complicated. Combined with the reversed Ten of Cups, it almost feels like at some point in your life, you begin to grow in reverse. And this is because you start to subtract instead of add. You simplify your life, creating space for wisdom, inner nourishment, and spiritual growth. While the world may chase perfect happiness, you only seek a single guiding light. And honestly, this is a kind of quiet, introverted heroism, because sometimes choosing simplicity is far harder than chasing excitement. And I see someone who in stillness honors solitude, purity, and something timeless. It's truly beautiful. Next, let's look at how others experience your energy. We have the Page of Pentacles and a High Priestess, with Death as the underlying energy. Right away, I'm picking up something interesting. People around you may feel like you're under-recognized. Your talents are not fully seen, or that you underestimate yourself. The Page of Pentacles and the High Priestess show two opposite energies. One is learning and the other is knowing. One is a student and the other is a teacher. One is still figuring things out and the other knows but doesn't speak. Because of this, some people may misunderstand you as not fully transparent or even a bit guarded. But in reality, you maintain an open perspective about everything, including yourself. You don't resist having your beliefs challenged. You actually welcome it because that allows you to stay curious, evolving, and always learning. Just like how you question everything, you also question yourself. Now, earlier in life, you may not have fully understood this. Your questioning may have been mixed with confusion, and you might have mistaken this neutral curiosity as a lack of ability. So there may have been phases where you doubted yourself or undervalued yourself, and this could last for quite some time. But then at a certain turning point in your life, there is a major transformation of identity. You suddenly realize many of your insights were actually correct. You've been ready for a long time, and you're capable of becoming a guide or teacher. Now, this life-changing moment will look different for everyone. It could be the loss of someone important, or a major career shift, or a business crisis, or health challenges, or the ending of a deep, meaningful relationship. This transformation can feel almost devastating, but it also leads to complete rebirth. Some of you may meet an important mentor during this time. This mentor opens you up to spirituality and inspires you to guide others as well. For others, this experience itself pushes you to that role. You become the one who supports others through similar life transitions. You carry a very mysterious energy. You deeply understand what people go through during transformation, but you don't tell them exactly what will happen because you know. The purpose of the experience is to build strength through the unknown. You become a reflection of their wisdom, their faith. Even without saying much, your presence alone gives people a sense of reassurance. They feel, even if I don't know what will happen, I will be okay. I will emerge stronger. And finally, let's look at the healing transformation your energy creates. We have the Knight of Wands and the Five of Pentacles. At the bottom of the deck, we have Five of Swords. You come into people's life almost like a sudden spark, especially during their lowest moments. Every time I see a knight in this position, it's very moving because knights represent action. During someone's healing process, you don't just observe, you actively show up. If you work in any kind of healing field, including physical healing, as you're directly channeling your energy into those who are depleted. You bring people vitality and passion and a will to live fully again. You invite them back into life. Now with the Five of Swords as the underlying energy is very deep. The people you impact may be outwardly strong but internally exhausted and are used to handling everything alone, or the opposite. They may appear successful even like winners, but inside they carry pain that no one truly understands. With the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Swords together, these people may feel confused in ways like, is losing actually winning? Is gaining actually letting go? Is rejection actually a form of acceptance? And just like how you question traditional ideas of happiness, you inspire others to re-examine their own values. You help them see life and vitality in a completely new way. This also shows your openness and compassion. You don't measure someone's worth based on material success or external status, so people feel deeply accepted and understood by you. They feel that, even if they let go of their ego, they are not weak. Even if their life doesn't look bad on the surface, they are still allowed to be vulnerable. And that is incredibly healing. And finally, your oracle message is, don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? This connects perfectly to what we said at the beginning. You are not meant to follow the conventional path. Your light is unique and it is not meant to be hidden. This message may reflect your past experiences and also the journey of those who resonate with you. And this light is not just your personality, it's also your deeply infectious passion for life. Okay, wishing everyone who chose this pile all the very best, and I'll see you in the next reading.